Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. And for those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. Your support means the world. If you're interested in getting a monthly subscription, you can go over to Patreon and look up Engelgeist and sign up for a subscription level over there. And you will get the daily forecast a day early, and assorted other readings that are available over there only. This is the forecast for Wednesday, the 16th of September. It is a timeless message, therefore, if you're seeing it on a date that is not September 16th, that's okay. It still may have valid information for you. I believe that messages reach us when they need to. So, keeping that in mind, if you're watching it on a date that is not, the 16th, that's okay. For those of you that watch regularly and tune in daily, this is to build upon the energy that we've been looking at, starting with Sunday's reading and working our way through the week. We are now at the midweek point of Wednesday. We have that death card sitting in the middle of our week this week, which to me, most people might see that as foreboding. I think it's actually a really good thing. So let's see what we've got going on. I will say this, if anything doesn't make sense, don't worry. That doesn't necessarily mean that anything's wrong. You might just be working on something different than the majority of the viewers. So don't worry about that. And if you do see anything here that does apply to your life, you have to figure out where it fits into your life, but also any decisions you may make after having watched this reading are your responsibility. So keeping that in mind too. We're all adults here, kind of thing. Never take my readings over your own intuitions, as they say. So, or as I say, I don't know if they say that, but I'm here to help enhance hopefully what you already know to be true, help validate that sort of stuff, maybe give a little bit of guidance or encouragement. Beyond that, I want to empower you guys to feel like you have an understanding of what's going on, if that makes sense. All right, so let's see what's going on. Oh, wow, she's back. All right, so Eight of Cups is back. This was the beginning card for the weekly on Sunday, right? So she was supposed to be the underpinning energy of the first 2 days of this week, or the first 3 days maybe, right? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, possibly. Tuesday to Wednesday, which is today, would have been kind of our transference from this Eight of Cups energy into that Death card. To me, I feel like there may still be some emotional residue around whatever this separation, this change, this transformation may be that Death is bringing about in our space. Again, I don't feel like this is a bad card. I feel like we've known this big bright moon just speaks to this idea that intuitively we've known that this situation, whatever it is, however it makes us feel emotionally, it's time to let it go. There may have been, a time in the past where this maybe made us feel differently, right? Maybe this was a situation or a person, you have to apply this where it fits in your life, right? But if it was like, say, a job, maybe it paid us well and we felt fulfilled there for a period of time. And I feel like that's kind of the nostalgia that she doesn't want to let go of in this card. There's this sadness, but she knows she needs to move on. There's a thing about the eights where I feel like they're moving towards this better, more balanced place. And so when we look at the Eight of Cups, although it's an emotional card, it's about kind of getting over that emotion, or not getting over, because I don't want to say that, but like processing that emotion and then making a decision to move on to something greater or grander or more suited for us, even if we don't know what that may be or how we're going to get there. There's a certain amount of faith too, I feel like, with this card. That's also the night moon up here guiding us through the darkness. That is speaking to our more subtle internal voice or our intuition, allowing that to guide us. Maybe our emotional set points or our emotions are guiding us too at this time. We want to listen to those things because they will take us, they won't lead us astray, right? Our mind may want to get in there and be like, no, you don't know what you're doing. But we saw that Eight of Swords too earlier this week, which was that kind of that overthinking energy, feeling trapped by our thoughts. We've hopefully released that, right? When I see this Eight of Cups, it reminds me that that energy from the early part of the week might still be lingering, right? We might still be processing emotions. We could be processing emotions around whatever the situation is and the transformation of it for some time to come, too. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're instantly over everything and able to walk away free and clear. But I do feel like she has that staff in her hand. She is choosing to walk this direction, this path, even if it maybe isn't the easiest of choices for her. So there's something, I kind of feel like very mature about this card in her decision making. Does that make sense? So, you know, she's kind of like taking the helm, taking the wheel and driving, making her decisions from this place of, okay, if I have to let this go, then I will, kind of thing. That's sort of the vibe that I get from this. So, and the reason why I use the idea of letting go is because the Eight of Cups is definitely about moving away from a scenario, but we also have that Death card pinning underneath. So, major arcana, big event. Death is also associated with the sign of Scorpio, which is very much about sex, death, regeneration, right? So that's also very much transformative energy too, and water related, right? Cups energy. So all of this is kind of playing together as far as I'm concerned. When I look at it, it's sort of like whatever it is that we're contemplating walking away from, now is the time to do so, and to do so with some semblance of grace, pride, strength. We've got it within us. And it will lead us to something better, I promise that. Now, oh, interesting. Okay, so this is our card. This is nothing will come of this situation. This is the Void of Course Moon. Interesting that this is kind of hanging up in the same dark sky similar to this moon here. If anybody is having any questions of holding on, and that might be some of this Eight of Cups energy too, last minute holdouts to whatever the situation is that we have that we need to release or let go or allow to die, allowed to transform, allowed to change and process. This card here, this nothing will come of this situation, is pretty bleak. It says to me, it's time to let go, guys. If we're not letting go, we're just kind of torturing ourselves and staying stuck is the feeling that I'm getting from these cards. It's interesting too, because I look at this, although she's walking away, do we have our back turned on some sort of reality that we don't want to look at? For some of you, this may not be all of you. I'm just sort of pointing that out only because this nothing will come of this situation. This Void of Course Moon card makes me feel like there might be something we're trying not to look at, or that it might feel like too painful to look at, too scary to look at. But the truth is that Eight of Cups says that we can look at it, we can deal with it, we can process through the feelings, and we can move forward, but we have to like sort of take the reins or that authority to do it, right? To challenge ourselves or believe that we're strong enough and face it. This nothing will come of this situation really speaks to this idea that, you know, it brings us back to that Death card, right? That whatever this, you know, if this is a job for some of you, or a relationship, or maybe it's a family relationship, you know, maybe it's with a loved one or a friend, that it's just not transforming, it's not changing. You're still getting the same thing that you've maybe been getting of recent that's no longer fulfilling you or making you feel connected or whole or complete. Maybe there's something that it's just not adding up, if that makes sense. These two cards together definitely speak to the fact that that feeling that you're getting, that vibe that you're getting, that intuition that you might be picking up, that like, look, this is not and hasn't been serving me for a while, it's going to continue to not serve you. Does that make sense? So let's go to the grounding stone. Okay, the grounding stone, this is on a green stone, which is going to take me to the heart chakra, obviously, because that is colors associated with it. On it, I'm not exactly sure what stone this is. It could be, malachite is blue. What is the green stone? I can't think of the name of it. Anyways, this takes me to the richness of the heart, right? And this is a deeper green stone. But the word on it, I don't know how well you guys can see it. It's namaste. Namaste is the God in me honors the God in you, right? It's this sort of greeting that is used, I believe, in Buddhist culture. But what I love about it is there's a sense of peace to it. There's a sense of closure to it. When I look at it coupled with these two cards, I think that we need to maybe, if some of us are dealing, and I get a kind of feeling when I'm looking at these cards, especially coupled with this namaste, some of you might be dealing with relationship stuff. There might be friends, family members, significant others, partners that we're struggling with, or that we need to sort of transform that our feelings around. This namaste makes me feel like honoring and accepting the situation, finding some gratitude for the situation, even if it's not exactly the way we want it to be, right? Maybe it's not giving us what it used to in the past, or it's not fulfilling us in the way that it used to. This namaste to me feels like we're still going to potentially honor it, be grateful for it, and find some sense of closure to it. To allow us to sort of maybe grow beyond it or get past it, to move away from it. And also, like I said, to find that sort of heart-centered gratitude for it. If we ground in that and we understand that everything sort of serves a purpose ultimately, nothing is sort of wasted, or we don't have to allow for anything to be wasted, right? It's really up to our perception and how we choose to look at things. If we want to write a situation or a relationship off as, oh, that was a big waste of my time, well, you've kind of wasted that. But generally, as a rule, even negative relationships come into our lives to mirror back to us what it is we might need to look at within ourselves, or where it is areas that we need to work on ourselves, that sort of a thing. So when I'm looking at this, to me, this namaste is kind of raising up into the higher heart, maybe being grateful and finding that gratitude for whatever might be causing you the need to move on, and acknowledging that in that moving on, in some ways it's maybe potentially strengthening you or making you more of a capable individual, right? So I think that there's a purpose to all of this. I think that there is something to be grateful for in underneath all of this, if you look for it and you find it within. And that I have a feeling that it's going to hopefully be within your heart center, residing in there, which is where the spirit resides, right? So connecting to that is going to be probably the best thing for you to do, especially during this time, because with that void of course moon card, it does feel, times might feel a little bit bleak today for some of you. All right, so let me read to you the Eight of Cups again. Lots of Cups energy this week. Eight of Cups is turning away, giving up, finding that something or someone was not a healthy influence, river run dry, choosing to sacrifice in order to make a clean break, start afresh elsewhere, abandoning a dream, changing directions, the dawn of something new, a quest with heart, bravery, heeding the call. So, all of those things I think are definitely here. It's about us, like I said, taking the wheel and moving forward, listening to this intuitive mind, maybe not necessarily knowing which way we're going to go from here out, but knowing that if we go, we're going to do ourselves a greater service than by staying. Let me read the Void of Course Moon. Okay, nothing will come of this situation. In a form of astrology known as horary, I've been called that a few times before, let's be honest, just kidding, where an astrology chart is cast according to when the question is asked and decoded, a void of course moon means nothing will come of this matter, or this situation will bear no fruit. This may or may not be good news, depending on what you are asking. For example, if you were worried about something, whatever it was, this card is to be taken as a sign that there is nothing to worry about. However, if you're asking about a new project of any kind, including a new relationship, it is a sign to adjust your expectations or change them so that you get a different outcome. Remember, the cards can only predict what you are currently creating, and you can change that with your with both your behavior and your beliefs. The attuned to the moon is I trust in my highest good. The additional meanings of this card are the chances of something are diminishing. Something better may be around the corner. Believe that you will get what you need. Surrender to the divine. Take time out, meditate, and contemplate. The teaching is the main definition of a void of course moon is when the moon won't make a major connection with any of the planets until she enters the next sign. The best thing you can do when you get this card is to chant the Sanskrit words Om Namo Narayani, which mean I surrender to the divine. A void of course moon is time to just be. Now, when I think about that chant, that Om Namo Narayani, sorry if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, and it says it means I surrender to the divine, it immediately takes me to that death card, right, that is underpinning this. And to me, death is a spiritual transformation, right? Spiritual being that of the divine, right? It's something that everything cycles in and out of, is this cycle of endings, right? The sooner we sort of become more comfortable with them, again, with the Namaste stone, grateful for them, hold them as impactful and valuable within our own heart, and we find gratitude for them, the sort of faster we can sort of move through them and move to sort of new chapters, next chapters, and that's what we see in this Eight of Cups. I really do believe that although this might feel challenging for some of you, this is really a beautiful time to start to transform and change into something that might be better suited for you, provide more inspiration for you, whatever that may be. If you are struggling right now, please feel free to leave a comment. Let me know how you're doing. Just hold tight, find that gratitude if you can, and remember going back to Sunday's grounding stone, which was that idea of the concept of promise, right? Like being sort of rich, abundant, and filled with sort of potential opportunity. Remember, all of this has that opportunity. And when I think about like how these two moons kind of hang here in the balance, and we have all of this darkness in this card, kind of, it really is sort of, to me, this feels like unknown, right? It's not yet been kind of predicted, dictated. In that darkness, although it might feel murky or scary or unknown, there really is opportunity for all kinds of creation. It's sort of the feeling that I'm getting as I'm looking at these cards. So that to me is very hopeful and exciting. And if we can find or ground in that idea of being grateful for that with this Namaste stone, we could really maybe potentially create something really beautiful and new and thrilling going into, say, maybe the months ahead or even into next year. All right, thank you. That is your forecast. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave me a like if you did, a thumbs up, and please leave me any questions or comments, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.